Incidentally, I was to learn many years later that a very similar thing had happened to Dave Shannon. He had arrived as a volunteer for PFF duties at Whiten in late February 1943, only to receive a telephoned invitation from Wing Commander Gibson to return to 5 Group to join a new squadron that he was forming in the group. Dave returned to Lincolnshire with all haste. I guess it was incidents like this that caused Air Vice Marshal D.C.T. Bennett, the AOC No. 8 Group, to have rather a querulous attitude towards the upstart 617 Squadron in the later stages of the war. Jerry told me that he had heard of my PFF posting whilst he had been a staff instructor at the Lancaster Finishing School at RAF Syerston, Lincoln. At the same time, the Bush Telegraph had passed the message that Leonard Cheshire was seeking aircrew to man Mosquito aircraft for low-level target marking, and there weren't many takers. Jerry had leapt into a Lancaster and headed swiftly for RAF Woodhall Spa. He managed to get an interview with a 617 Squadron commander who was impressed by Jerry's record and accepted him for the role. Jerry blurted out the story of my posting to PFF and that he was certain that I would only be too pleased to join forces with him again. "I will get the necessary posting amendments put in hand immediately," said Chesh, "and Flying Officer Bennett can join you at Warboys for the conversion course and return to Woodhall with the other lads." Well, that's how it all came about. I knew very little about 617, save what was general knowledge around 5 Group and Bomber Command. The very real feeling of thankfulness that I had in knowing that I was going back to war in 5 Group and with Jerry Falk did much to dampen down any secret qualms I may have had about the posting, and anyway, I could always console myself with the thought that at least I'd maintained the old service tradition of not volunteering for anything. 617 Squadron was officially formed at RAF Scampton on 1 April 1943, April Fool's Day, and the 25th anniversary of the formation of the Royal Air Force. The Dams Raid, which was carried out so magnificently on the night of 16 and 17 May 1943, remains the most outstanding individual bomber squadron feat of the whole war. Quite properly, it stands as a lasting memorial to the courage and devotion of all bomber aircrew throughout the conflict. Besides lifting the civilian morale, it boosted the spirits and efforts of the thousands of aircrew with other Bomber Command squadrons then engaged in the bitter bomber battles against the German enemy. It has rightly secured an imperishable niche in British history. Wing Commander Gibson relinquished command of the squadron after the Dams Raid and was succeeded by Squadron Leader George Holden, DSO DFC, who had previously served in No. 4 Group in Yorkshire. On 6 July 1943, he led 6 aircraft against electric power installations at Aquata Scrivia, near Genoa, whilst another 6 aircraft attacked the transformer station at San Polo de Enza. All 12 aircraft flew on to North Africa after the bombing and landed at RAF Bleeder without loss. They left Bleeder on 25 July and bombed the harbour and shipping at Leghorn en route for Scampton. On 29 July, the squadron carried out leaflet raids on the large towns of northern Italy. Again they landed at Bleeder and returned later to the United Kingdom, this time without attacking any enemy target on the way back. The squadron transferred en bloc from RAF Scampton to RAF Coningsby on 30 August 1943. For 2 successive nights, 14 and 15 and 15 and 16 September, the squadron's target at low level was the Dortmund-Ems Canal at Ladbergen in Germany. In that short period, 6 of the 9 crews detailed were lost without the canal being breached, the cause being the fog that enveloped the target area. Among the casualties was George Holden and, with him, practically the remainder of the crew that had flown with Guy Gibson on the Dams Raid. Some 30 minutes after landing after the second of these attacks, Flight Lieutenant Mick Martin, DSO DFC, captain of one of the 3 surviving crews, was discussing the reasons for the outcome of the operation with Air Vice Marshal Sir Ralph Cochrane, AOC No. 5 Group, who had hastened to Coningsby and was obviously shocked by the losses sustained.